One of the most captivating mysteries of our era is the legend of the Yeti, also known as Bigfoot. For decades, the famous Patterson-Gimlin film from the 1960s served as compelling evidence for the existence of such a creature, though its creators later admitted it was a hoax. However, there's an extraordinary and less-known story from the Caucasus Mountains that continues to intrigue researchers and enthusiasts. The story of Zana from the Abkhazian village of Tkina. In the 1860s, Prince Akba was hunting in the dense, mountainous forests of Abkhazia when he spotted a large, mysterious creature walking upright. Convinced it was something extraordinary, he ordered his hunters to capture it. They succeeded in an unusual way by luring the creature with sweat-soaked pants left on a clearing. Drawn by the scent, the creature, which turned out to be female, was caught. She was nearly 2 meters tall, covered in thick, dark brown fur, particularly dense around the lower body, resembling a bear. Her skin was dark gray underneath, and her robust build was marked by massive muscles, especially prominent in her legs and feet. Her large feet featured widespread toes capable of extensive movement. Her face was partially hairy, with rare red eyes and a prominent lower jaw. Named Zana, she was gifted to Prince Chelak and eventually ended up with Prince Inzo Ganaba. Initially aggressive and uncontrollable, Zana was confined to a cage made of thick logs. Over time, she adapted to captivity, started accepting food from her owner, and eventually lived in a simpler enclosure made from woven branches. She would sleep in a hole she dug in the ground. Once Zana became calmer, she was allowed to move freely around the village and swim in a nearby river, which she greatly enjoyed. Despite her integration into village life, Zana never learned human speech, but did simple chores, like carrying heavy objects. She was loyal only to her master, quickly becoming enraged when provoked. Zana had several children, though the fate of her older offspring remains unknown. Her youngest son, Fit, lived in Tkina until his death in 1954. Kvit was married twice, lastly to a Russian woman named Maria, and they had a daughter named Raisa. Local elder Zinov Chikua recalled seeing Zana alive during his childhood, describing her son Kvit as tall, almost 2 meters, though less hairy than his mother. The biological father of Kvit, a shepherd named Sobaiki, admitted on his deathbed in the 1930s that he was indeed Kvit's true father. In 1962, the intriguing tale drew the attention of Moscow biologist Alexander Mashkovtsev, who visited the village, talked to locals, and learned the story firsthand. Later, cryptozoologist Boris Porshnev and historian Igor Burtsev continued research, conducting excavations at the village cemetery and discovering Kvit's remains and possibly Zana. Burtsev even located Zana's granddaughter Raisa, born in 1934, who had some African features but otherwise appeared entirely normal. Version 1. Zana was a mentally ill woman of African descent, possibly a descendant of slaves brought to Abkhazia by Turkish slave traders. Genetic analysis by Professor Brian Sykes of Oxford confirmed her African lineage, but noted that her genetic makeup differed from contemporary African groups, suggesting a long isolated community. Version 2. Zana was a relic hominid, potentially a Neanderthal or another prehistoric species. Although fascinating, modern research casts doubt on this due to evidence of Neanderthal sophistication. Version 3. Zana was a woman suffering from hypertrichosis, a rare condition causing excessive hair growth, intensified by living isolated and wild. Despite genetic insights confirming her African origins, Zana's true nature continues to spark debate. What do you think? Was Zana a real-life Yeti, or is there a simpler explanation? Leave your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more fascinating stories.